Here's the Canon 80D with the new 135 STM nano lens, and this is the Canon 70D, the predecessor to the 80D. I also have the Canon 70 Mark II. I've had the 7D and the 60D, the T2i. I've invested for a few years in Canon, and I've now got the 80D. And in this video, I wanted to compare the 80D to the 70D, specifically for video, because I mostly shoot video, also stills, but mostly video. And I got the 80D because of some upgrades to the video features that I think might be worth it if you're looking to buy either one right now, or if you already have a 70D and you want a second camera. The 80D is a very good addition, complementary camera to the 70D. The 80D and the 70D are very similar body design. In fact, they are, in my mind, exactly the same body. So if you already have 70D accessories, the 80D can use all the same accessories. What are the differences between the 70D and the 80D? Most of the differences are in the photography features, the still cameras. So it's a bigger, it's more megapixels. It's like 24 point something megapixels. This was like 20 point something megapixels. This has an upgraded processor. This also has a wider 100% optical viewfinder, whereas this was not 100%. When you look in the viewfinder, you do not see the entire frame that you're shooting. This also has more autofocus points. It's slightly better in low light because of the processor. Now for video features, that's where there are slight upgrades. With the body design, you now get the big thing is that you get the headphone jack and mic jack, whereas the 70D you only had the mic jack. And the way the placement of the mic jack and the headphone jack are in a position where when you flip out the screen, you can fully articulate it and not interfere with the headphone and mic jack. That's a big upgrade, actually, in my opinion, for if you do a lot of audio on camera, like boom microphones or wireless audio, and you want to monitor your audio. That's a big step up. The other big feature as far as video is that it has a time-lapse video mode, and it has HDR mode, which are just more gimmicky features. The big thing is the 1920 by 1080 60p, whereas this one only had 720 60p. This also has MP4 and MOV, whereas this only had MOV. So here, when you go into the menu and it's movie record mode, and you select it, those are your options. With the 80D, as you can see, the menu looks a little different. But you switch here, and now you have MOV and MP4. So if you go to MOV, you have 29.97 and 23.98. But when you switch over to the MP4, you have a few other options here as far as frame rate goes. You have 60p, 24p, 30p, and then you have it in different flavors, 1920 and 720. And the final difference between these two, with as far as video mode, is the dual pixel autofocus, which is much better with the 80D. It's more responsive, it's faster, it's smooth. The 70D is great with that autofocus, with that dual pixel autofocus, but the 80D is noticeably better. Not by a lot, but it's noticeably better. So those, few things, if that's worth it for you to upgrade for video, you should do it. Otherwise, I don't see why you shouldn't stick with the 70D. If you already have a 70D and your budget is tight, I would buy another lens instead of buying a camera. If you don't need the audio port, the headphone, and you don't need the slightly better autofocus, and you don't need 1080 60p. If you don't need those three things, there's nothing wrong with the 70D. One thing that I'm doing right now is shooting two cameras, multi-cam shoots on concerts and some live events. And I'm going to keep the 70D because it's a good companion piece to the 80D. And when I shoot the footage, they match. So it's a good camera. I'm glad I have the 80D, but I'm not going to get rid of the 70D because the 70D is a very capable camera. That's my initial impressions with the 80D with video. Overall, I like it. The headphone jack, the 1080 60p, and the slightly better dual pixel autofocus was worth it for me. And I love this new 18 to 135 nano STM lens.